Hello and welcome back again to TGIGT. My name is Josh. We're back with Stanley Parable. Let's find some more endings, shall we?
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed button keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427
Now, I
did
will apologize
every day,
because
every month of
I am
every year.
aware that
And although others might have
the
considered it
last
so,
video I was
Stanley relished.
didn't capture the narrator. Still gassy. Turn this on. I am here now. I was made aware of this. Hopefully this will be better this time around. So, let's see which
All of his
endings
co-workers were gone.
we can
What could
find.
it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
We've
Perhaps
heard
he
you
had simply
before.
missed a memo.
Yes, yes.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Let's go left for now. This away, this away. There's like a jump.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
Don't get
Feeling
fired.
a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Where was it? Where was it?
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on
There's so
track.
many things that are here, though. There's nothing here. You got tape and
There was nothing
that
here.
stuff.
No choice to make,
Wherever
no
that
path
is.
to follow, just an empty broom closet.
Paths
No
are hard.
reason to still be here.
All the reason. And a monkey wrench, I think.
It was
I don't know for
baffling
sure.
that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
FA. Remember, kids, you can say that.
Are you really still in the broom closet?
Yes,
Standing around doing nothing?
possibly.
Why?
Because
Please
I want
offer
to.
me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
I get lonely. So lonely. Where's the mob?
You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right?
There's
If
no
I'd
mob.
said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out.
Maybe.
But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never would have thought to mention it.
It's fun, isn't it? Just nothing.
Maybe to you this is somehow its own branching path.
Yes.
Maybe when you go talk about this with your friend, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favourite."
I love the
I
broom
hope
closet
your friends
ending.
find this concerning.
Ah. I love this board.
Stanley was fat and ugly and really, really stupid.
Oh, that's
He
mean.
probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid
Jeez.
he is. That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is
drug
addicted to
money.
drugs and hookers.
Hookers, man. Hookers. Oh, I love hookers.
Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about
That
what's
won't be
going on right
traumatization,
now.
would it?
You're
Oh, well.
dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system
Ah, you're
and
dead.
you collapsed on the keyboard.
Totally dead.
Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose.
I can't do it if I'm dead.
Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. He or
Guess
she
I'm
has
dead.
fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place at the computer. making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them.
Yes.
All right. When you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
Okay.
Ah, second player. It's good to have you on board. I guarantee you can't do any
Same.
worse. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his
I could do
boss's
worse.
office.
So much worse. First player. Nothing.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that.
I could
And
be.
in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished?
Yes.
His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy.
Maybe
All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense.
Uh-oh.
And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down?
I had no
Why
feet.
did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went?
Why?
And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating?
Oh,
No,
boy.
Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming!
Yay.
He yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all.
Maybe I'm
He thought
not.
to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid.
Guess I should.
So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
Oh boy.
Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking?
Why?
Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought.
So
And while he
confusing.
thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself?
Yes.
Stanley is as awake right now
I'm
as he's ever
stuck.
been in his life.
Stuck forever.
Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock
Wow,
to
this is
Stanley.
terrible. How's this
After
changed?
all,
No.
he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How
Yeah.
else would the voice explain all that? This
Yeah.
voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would
If
prove
only.
it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt
Wake up.
the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one.
Feels nice.
Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over.
Jeez,
Let me go back
it
to
was
my
like that for
job.
real.
Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want.
All we
I
is to
want my
push the
apartment
buttons.
and my wife and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal.
I guess.
Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Hooray! Nothing changed.
Stanley began screaming. Please,
Ah.
someone wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss, I have an office, I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real, I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Yay. Darkness.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Oh, fun.
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like.
Yeah.
And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Hooray, the death ending. Yay! That was a strange ending. We can do it again. There was that one from last time.
Stanley knew the office layout like the back of his hand. It was only a matter of time before he found the others, wherever they were.
Yes.
Just a matter of time.
Matter of time.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Right.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well.
That's fine.
Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Admire.
Ah, yes.
There it
Truly
is.
a room
We've
worth
seen this
admiring.
last video.
It had really been worth the
Let's keep
detour after all. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
This way.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Ouch.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
For her?
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Who's her? Is the lady from before? What's this way? No. The door. I don't like darkness again.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. To reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
This is strange. Pick up the phone. What's going on?
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
No, that's fine.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
Okay. Well, the depression's gonna set in somewhere.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
What? Okay.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
Okay.
Look at him there,
Now I am
pushing
Stanley.
buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
It's terrible. I guess I'll press the egg.
But in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild
My beautiful
expeditions
wife.
into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work
Past his desk.
was a reminder that none of it would ever happen
desk.
to him.
TV.
And so he began to
Oh.
fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
Spend time with the boy.
So he went further. He imagined that he came to two open doors and that he could go through either. At last,
is,
choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
Prepare dinner.
As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
It's a story.
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
Just one more. Do I love you?
But there is no
I guess
answer.
not.
How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Okay. Let's not do it. We're gonna try to not do it. Let's see what happens. I can wait it out. I can wait it out. This is forever. I really want to press that though. I really do want to press the button. Maybe just a little bit. Just a little bit. Press the button. That's not the button. This button.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
Question nothing.
I suppose I can't.
Nothing's
not in the way
different.
I want him to.
I
I
am
don't make
great.
the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again.
Please die.
And Stanley
Well,
pushed
I'll
a
try.
button. And I tried again. And Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
Well, that's fun. I think that's an ending. That's an ending. That's one of our many endings. Alright, folks, let's go for one more before I cut this off.
Someone was following Stanley. He was sure of it. If he checked over his shoulder now, he would surely catch them. It was only a matter of time.
That's gonna be paranoid. Felt weird.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
On the left. Through the hallway.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
We're broke Wednesday. Mergers. What should about 3 to 432? Legal? Maybe. That's interesting. Do not alter without consolidating whiteboard manager. Okay. Get Chris out of the broom closet. I'm still to synergize papers. My desk. Confusing. This way. Now we should
Coming
go
to
upstairs.
a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Whee. I'm like it's easy. Bathroom? Bathroom? No bathroom. Other door?
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned
Almost
to
did.
discover not an indication of any human life.
Almost at that one.
Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him.
The terror.
And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number.
Super secret.
2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Smart.
Yet incredibly,
Smart.
by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Decent way. Push a button. Push a button. We've come back to this one. Yay. If I don't see the whole thing, it's not copyrighted.
Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Interesting.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control
Escape.
Facility. Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Yay! Let's do it anyway. Violent death.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
So much opportunity. Not doing it though. Can't tell me to do it.
At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward
Yes.
and willingly confront his death.
Ooh, interesting. Down the hole. What's happening? Something fun, I hope. That was weird, wasn't it? A little bit.
into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. So he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Oh boy. Let's hide. Oh, okay.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
God. Yay! This way. The Stanley Parable.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game back in his office, as alive as
cool.
ever. What exactly did the narrator
museum.
think he was going to accomplish?
I like the museum. It's really cool.
When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Yeah. I started there, they come all around, look at all the stuff. All this layout. People, it's all the same, all the way to here. Then it starts getting screwy. That's fine. The office. I guess different patterns? Buttons. Yay. No, I can't bring it back. Employee database. I cannot read you. The boss's office. What is this? Screens from development of boss office. That would have just been, you know, starting, and then get that, and then this is just now. Yay. Office clock. The freedom ending. Is there really... No, I can't press the button. Freedom ending. And beta. What? Elevator. Control room. What's this? Zending. Screenshot displays early versions of the which you cut and merge with another part of the game. Oh. Wait. Zending with two iterations. This represents the fourth version of the end. The ending that was complete but decided to abandon and charge it shortly before launch. Huh, fun. Delivers. Huh, neat. The game is now paused. The time we had ending that only ended when the player restarted from the escape menu. Unfortunately, very few players realize this was ooh, another ending. What's this one? Option 1. Obey, disobey. Event. Ooh. What about this? Disobey. Go left. Event into maintenance? Interesting. Very interesting. Huh. Nothing. 2, 1, 0. Okay. Apartment type. Office. I know there's like a war ending. From war to... Hey. Where's the war ending? I want to find the war ending. It's around here somewhere. And I'm not lying about it. That's a thing. Just gotta find it. Maybe. Exit. Not yet. Not yet. I swear there's one. I just know. Is that it? No, it's different. This way? Maybe? Maybe. Oh, this is. I'll take. Nice. I'll take. Doobie 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 doo. I do like this though. I definitely do like that they put in. Because they had something like this in I want to say it was Dexter. Jack and Dexter. Could be entirely wrong. Ooh, this is the one I was wanting. Well, was assigned to ending where Stanley went into the battlefield by aliens. The action game sent in and we'll wait for as the narrator. We realized shortly after starting. Far too jokey and on the nose for the tone of the game. Plus, some people interpret this as making fun of people who like shooters, which was not our intention. But just should have. That would have been great. I'd find the narrator. No, right there. Well, I guess I'll go find the ending. The ending of the ending. There it is. That is. Yes. Exit. Stanley Bear.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
Just turn it off. Yay!
Can you see?
No.
Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let time...
Yeah, I'll die. Well, I flinched. Hey, do it. Quit to menu. Begin the game again. Like the lady said. But again, that is there are more, but that's all I'm doing this time. Maybe some other time I'll come back to find more. But that is today's video. Remember to like and subscribe. Yeah, leave a comment if you can think if there's any games that you want to see me play. Leave a comment. I'll see you guys next game time.